I used the new Scuf Envision Pro controller for the first time, so let's talk about it. Ever since Scufs started making custom controllers in 2011 with the paddles in the back, I can remember every YouTuber and their mother wanting to get their hands on this industry-changing controller that Scuf promised to be making. Custom paddles on the back that would revolutionize competitive shooters in a way that seemed almost too good to be true. Now, more than a decade has passed, and Scuf has made some serious changes to the original formula that first put them on the map. And after waiting 13 years and wanting a Scuf controller to call my own, I have finally had the opportunity to try the new Scuf PC exclusive Envision controller for the first time. So let's get into it. Ever since it was first released to consumers, this controller has sold out 2 times, but I finally got my hands on my own copy just in time for the holidays. The unboxing experience was truly something else. From the design of the box art to the unboxing itself, the entire process of opening this controller for the first time was an experience all to itself. From the little Easter eggs around the box to the presentation, it really was nice to unbox this controller. The extra blanks and the included matching braided cable was a nice touch. First impressions was this controller is really soft in the hands. The gripped handles are a really nice touch as well. The way the paddles fit naturally in the hand is just the chef's kiss. This controller feels better than any other official licensed controller from either Xbox or PlayStation, and for me, that says a lot. But I think my favorite part of this controller is the mouse click buttons. Almost every button on this controller is mechanical, and yes, that includes the triggers. Each button feels like you're clicking on a mouse, and it is extremely satisfying, especially if you're a person who likes to fidget. The only issue is that they really are easy to accidentally press, and until I get a little bit more comfortable, I'm going to continue to misclick and accidentally hit the back paddles. Kind of reminiscent into trying to get used to a mouse and keyboard for the first time. So that's going to be an interesting learning curve, alongside actually deciding on what I want to map these new buttons to. Using the paddles and the bumpers for the first time was actually really fun. It provides a new dimension to what would have normally been a casual gunfight. Normally I would use a way of holding a controller called claw, which is used to compensate not having to take your thumbs off of the analog sticks, and still be able to hitting the A, B, X, Y buttons with your index fingers. This sacrifices speed used for pressing the triggers, but benefits greatly while increasing the versatility of movement possibilities. But now that you could have any button mapped to the back of the controller, or the newly implemented side buttons, we no longer have to play with these crazy controller styles anymore, making it so much more comfortable while playing. And now with the ultra-fast responsive triggers and mouse-clickable bumpers, I'm able to double my trigger speed and quite literally win more gunfights because I'm simply putting more bullets into the enemy than I was before. And I am not someone who has a devastating trigger finger by any means. I mean, it's laughably slow. But now I have something that isn't half bad just by toggling the switch that is hidden in under the triggers. I'm able to switch from an adaptive feedback pressure trigger to an ultra-fast mouse click button that is extremely satisfying to the touch. And you could remap these paddles to quite literally any combination that you want. If you want to get better at building in Fortnite, these paddles can be used for mapping your building options. If you want to get good at movement tech in Apex or Call of Duty, you can map these buttons to be an extra jump, a wall bounce, or a slide cancel, for instance. If you want to have faster gunfights and have quicker swapping in general, you can do what I chose to do and just map these buttons to your favorite hot swap, and now you have a secondary in your hands faster than ever before. This controller is as versatile as your imagination, and that's my favorite part. Will this replace mouse and keyboard for me? Yes, but no. For me, this controller does not replace my mouse and keyboard entirely, but it does give me a really fun and considerable option to switch to when playing my favorite game moving forward. Story-based games like Baldur's Gate, etc., you can now connect your controller and relax in a way that will be so much more immersive with a controller in my hands than I ever would with a mouse and keyboard. While I could still lock in with my mouse and keyboard in my favorite shooter, I can easily switch to a more casual option with this controller, but easily still lock in because of how versatile the controller is. I definitely recommend this controller for someone who feels limited by their options but doesn't want to dedicate themselves into learning a mouse and keyboard. Someone who feels really confident with a controller but wants to take their experience to another level. Something I want to see implemented into the controller would be a wider option of paddle styles like the PlayStation controller has. If it was easy for me to pop these paddles out and hot swap them with a different shaped trigger altogether, that would be really nice to see. Because while this controller does take ergonomics into consideration, the shape of the back of the paddles would be a lot better. They're close to perfect, but I would like to see the option to switch up the style every little bit to something more like a dome-shaped trigger like the PlayStation Pro controller has. So those are my opinions on the new Scuf Envision controller. Thanks for watching, and if you're thinking about getting this controller or have a question for me, let me know down in the comments down below. I'll be sure to answer them to my best of my abilities. So please be sure to like the video and leave a comment. Thanks for watching.